The Maya Civilization. Part 1. The World Before the Cities. Opening atmosphere. Night settles gently over the lowlands of Meso America. The jungle exhales. Leaves glisten with lingering warmth from the day, and somewhere beyond sight, water moves slowly through limestone and root. This land, stretching across what is now southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and parts of Honduras, has been awake for a very long time, long before stone pyramids reached toward the stars, before kings carved their names into monuments, before time itself was counted with such precision. There were people here, quiet lives, patient lives, lives shaped by soil, rain, and the steady return of the sun. Tonight we drift back to meet them, the land that shaped a civilization. The Maya world was not one place, but many. Dense rainforests in the lowlands, cool highlands where mists wrapped the hills, coastal plains where salt and fish were gathered. There were no wide rivers like the Nile, no sweeping floodplains. Instead, the Maya lived on porous limestone, where water vanished underground, hidden in caves and cenotes. These natural wells became sacred portals, believed to lead into the living heart of the earth. Rain was never taken for granted here. It was watched, waited for, prayed into being. The land taught patience, and the people listened. The first villages. Around 2,000 years before the Common Era, small communities began to settle more permanently. They cleared patches of forest with stone tools. They burned vegetation carefully, returning nutrients to the soil. They planted maize, beans, squash, and chili peppers. Corn was not just food. It was origin. The Maya believed humanity itself was shaped from maize dough, formed by divine hands. To eat was to remember creation. Homes were simple. Wooden posts, woven walls, thatched roofs that whispered when rain arrived. Families slept close together, rising with the sun, resting when darkness reclaimed the forest. Life moved in cycles, not schedules. Daily life in early Maya society. Mornings began with fire. Women and men ground maize on stone metates, the rhythmic sound steady and soothing, like breath. Dough became tortillas. Smoke curled upward, carrying prayers no one spoke aloud. Children learned by watching how to plant, how to shape clay, how to listen for the coming rain. There were no schools, only elders. No books, only memory. The forest was both pantry and teacher. Plants healed. Animals warned. Stars instructed. Evenings brought stories. Not myths, but memories. Stories of ancestors who still watched. Stories of gods who walked the earth when the world was young. The first ceremonies. As villages grew, so did ritual. Simple platforms of earth were raised. Offerings of food and jade were placed carefully. Blood, the most precious gift, was sometimes given in small, sacred amounts. These acts were not seen as sacrifice in the modern sense. They were exchanges. The Maya believed the universe survived on balance. Humans gave so the gods would give in return. Rain for blood, life for life. Time itself was already sacred. Days were not passing. They were arriving. The slow birth of cities. Over centuries, villages clustered together. Paths became plazas. Plazas became ceremonial centers. Stone replaced wood. Symbols replaced memory. Early temples rose, not towering yet, but deliberate. Each aligned with the sun. Each echoing the movement of the heavens. Leadership emerged quietly. Not kings at first, but mediators. Those who spoke with gods and ancestors. Power was not loud. It was ritual. A civilization still asleep. At this moment in time, The Maya did not yet know they would become astronomers without telescopes, mathematicians who understood zero, architects of cities that still stand centuries later. They were simply living, planting, watching the sky, remembering their dead, teaching their children how to listen, and the jungle listened back. Gentle transition to sleep. As night deepens, fires dim. Crickets take over the conversation. The stars turn slowly, exactly as they always have. Somewhere in the dark, the foundations of a civilization settle into place. Not with a sound, not with urgency, but with time. Part 2. The Rise of Sacred Cities. A world gently organizing itself. Time does not hurry in the Maya world. It widens. Generations pass, and villages grow more familiar with one another. Paths are walked often enough to become permanent. Clearings widen into gathering places. The land remembers footsteps. By the first centuries of the Common Era, something new begins to take shape. Not suddenly, not loudly, stone by stone. The Maya are still farmers, still watchers of the sky, still listeners to the forest. But now, their lives begin to gather around shared centers of meaning. The first cities are waking. From village to city. A Maya city is not a city in the modern sense. There are no crowded streets, no walls enclosing everything at once. Instead, stone structures rise from the green like islands. Between them, forest remains. Gardens, homes, and fields breathe in the space between monuments. At the heart of each city lies a plaza. Wide, open, intentionally empty. This emptiness matters. The plaza is where people gather to witness time itself. Ceremonies, processions, the turning of days marked by ritual. Stone temples rise nearby, each step a deliberate ascent from earth toward sky. The city is not built to dominate nature. It is built to converse with it. The sacred geometry of power. Maya cities are shaped by the heavens. Temples align with the rising sun on specific days. Stairways catch the light of equinoxes. Shadows fall like serpents across stone. Every structure teaches. Not with words, but with movement and light. The people learn when to plant, when to wait, when to celebrate, when to mourn. Architecture becomes a calendar you can walk through. The emergence of the Ajal. As cities grow, leadership changes. The Maya ruler is called an Ajal, often translated as king, but the word carries something deeper. An Ajal is not merely a political leader. He is a living bridge between gods and people, between ancestors and the present, between time cycles themselves. The Ajal does not rule by force alone. He rules by ritual. His blood is sacred, his lineage divine. When he performs ceremonies, the city breathes easier. When he fails, balance trembles. Royal life in stillness. The royal court is quieter than one might imagine. Scribes sit cross-legged, carving glyphs with steady hands. Each symbol holds sound, meaning, and memory all at once. Artists shape limestone into faces that seem to watch the future. Jade is polished until it glows softly, like captured sunlight. Nobles wear woven cotton dyed deep reds and blues. Feathers shimmer when they move, echoing birds that pass overhead. Everything has meaning. Nothing is wasted. Even silence belongs. The city of Tikal awakens. Deep in the lowland jungle, one city begins to rise higher than the rest. Tikal. Its temples climb above the canopy, catching the first light of dawn while the forest below still sleeps. From a distance, these structures appear like mountains that have decided to grow straight upward. Within Tikal, life moves in layers. Farmers tend distant fields. Artisans work near the core. Priests observe the sky from elevated platforms. Each layer supports the next. The city hums softly, like a living organism. Ritual as the heartbeat. Ceremony anchors everything. On appointed days, people gather in the plaza. The air thick with incense and anticipation. Drums pulse slowly. Shell trumpets call across stone. The Ajar emerges, adorned in jade and feathers. His movements are measured, intentional. Blood is offered, not in excess, but with reverence. The gods are fed, and in return the sun rises again, writing time into stone. The Maya begin recording history with increasing confidence. Dates are carved, victories noted, lineages preserved. But Maya writing is not storytelling in the modern sense. It is timekeeping. Every inscription anchors a moment within vast cosmic cycles. Past, present, and future woven together. Nothing truly ends. It simply turns. Cities across the land. Beyond Tikal, other cities rise. Palenque, nestled among hills and water. Copan, elegant and deeply carved. Calakmul, powerful and far-reaching. Each city is independent, each proud, each connected through trade, marriage, rivalry, and ritual. There is no empire yet, only a constellation of sacred centers shining across the forest. Evening in a growing city. As the sun lowers, shadows stretch long across stone steps. Families return to their homes. Fires flicker back to life. Food is shared quietly. Above, stars begin their slow procession. Priests note their positions. Farmers note the season. Children drift toward sleep, listening to stories shaped by centuries. The city rests, but it does not sleep. Stone holds memory. Time continues its careful turning. Gentle transition forward. The Maya world is now fully awake. Cities stand, kings rule, gods listen. And yet, everything remains balanced on cycles. Nothing rushes. Nothing stays forever. As night deepens, the stars wheel silently overhead, and the cities wait for what time will bring next. Part 3. Daily life beneath the temples. Morning in the Maya world. Dawn arrives softly in a Maya city. Light filters through leaves high above the rooftops. Mist lingers close to the ground, drifting slowly between homes and gardens. The forest wakes first. Birds call in layered rhythms. Insects hum, already busy. Smoke begins to rise from household fires, thin and pale, carrying the scent of maize into the cool air. Families rise with the sun. Time is not counted in hours. It is felt in light and shadow. The Maya home. Most Maya people live in modest houses set slightly apart from one another. Walls are woven from branches and coated with clay. Roofs are thatched with palm leaves, sloping gently to guide the rain away. Inside there is little furniture, a hearth, storage vessels, sleeping mats rolled and unrolled with each day. The home opens easily to the world. Sounds pass through. Breezes wander in. Privacy is less important than belonging. Preparing the day's first meal. Food preparation is slow and ritual-like. Corn kernels soak overnight, softened with lime. At dawn, they are ground on stone, the steady motion echoing across the neighborhood. Hands know this work by memory. Dough becomes tortillas. Porridge simmers. Chili and squash are added when available. There is no rush. Meals are shared quietly, often in small groups, before the day pulls everyone outward. Fields beyond the city. Much of Maya life unfolds away from the monumental center. Fields stretch outward, reclaimed from forests through careful cycles of clearing and rest. This is the Milpa system. Balanced, sustainable, patient. Maize grows tall. Beans climb its stalks. Squash spreads wide leaves across the soil, protecting moisture beneath. The land is never forced. It is persuaded. Farmers watch the sky constantly. Clouds carry meaning. Wind direction speaks. A good harvest is a conversation successfully held. Crafts and creation. Back in the city, artisans begin their work. Potters shape clay into bowls and vessels, their fingers leaving faint traces that will last centuries. Each piece is fired with care, painted with symbols drawn from dreams and stories. Weavers sit beneath shade, turning cotton into cloth. Patterns emerge slowly, repeating designs passed down through generations. Stone carvers work with focus and patience. Glyphs appear one by one, pressed into limestone with precision. Nothing is rushed. Creation itself is an offering. The marketplace. On certain days, people gather to trade. The marketplace is not chaotic. It hums gently. Cacao beans change hands. Salt from the coast. Obsidian blades sharp enough to reflect the sky. Feathers, jade, pottery, woven cloth. There is no coinage. Value is understood. Trade is also conversation. News travels this way. Stories move faster than goods. The city listens to itself through exchange. Children and learning. Children are everywhere. They carry water. Chase each other between houses. Watch adults closely, absorbing skills through repetition and play. There are no formal lessons. Learning is lived. By adolescence, a child already knows their place in the cycle. Farmer, weaver, scribe, builder. Identity grows naturally, like a plant finding light. Women in Maya society. Women hold the household together. They prepare food, weave cloth, raise children, manage resources, but their influence reaches further. Women appear in art and inscriptions as rulers, priestesses, and dynastic anchors. Lineage often flows through them. Life begins with their hands. Culture continues through their memory. Their presence is constant, quiet, foundational. Men work and responsibility. Men tend fields, hunt, build, and serve in ritual roles. Some train as warriors, others as priests or scribes. Status is earned through service to balance, not accumulation. Strength is admired, endurance more so. Midday rest. As the sun climbs high, activity slows. Work pauses. Bodies rest in shade. The air grows heavy with warmth. This pause is understood. The land demands it. Stillness becomes part of the rhythm. Even time seems to nap. Evening returns. As light softens, work resumes briefly, then fades. Families gather again. Food is shared. Stories flow. The forest begins its nighttime conversation. Frogs, birds, wind and leaves. Children drift toward sleep. Above them all, temples darken, becoming silhouettes against the deepening sky. A life woven into time. For the ordinary Maya person, life is not small. It is precise. Each action echoes outward. Each day fits into a larger pattern. They may never climb the temple steps, never carve their name into stone, but their work feeds the gods. Their rhythm sustains the city, and that is enough. Soft transition forward. Night deepens. Stars return to their places. Tomorrow will look much like today, and that continuity is comfort. But beyond daily life, there is another world layered on top of this one. A world of gods, rituals, blood, and cosmic order. That world is never far away. It waits just beyond sleep. Part 4: Gods, Rituals, and the Architecture of Time. a world alive with spirit. For the Maya, the world is not divided. The natural and the supernatural, the living and the dead, the past and the present, all mingle, gently intertwined. A breeze might be a spirit passing. A cave might be the mouth of the earth. A pool of clear water might be a doorway into realms beneath. Nothing is merely what it seems. The world is layered, and every layer touches another. The gods who walk through time. The Maya do not have a small pantheon. Their gods shift forms, merge with one another, appear in different aspects depending on the cycle, the season, the need. But some are constants, found in stories told from village to palace. It's Samna, the creator, ancient and wise, whose presence is like dawn returning. Shak, the bringer of rain, whose tears nourish the earth. Nine Chel, the lunar force, healer, midwife, protector. Kukulkan, the feathered serpent, a bridge between sky and earth. These beings are not distant. They breathe through storms and starlight, through cornfields and the trembling earth. To live is to live among them. Ritual as balance. Ritual is less a moment and more a necessity. The Maya believe the universe must be fed, not out of fear, but reciprocity. Crops are planted, rain falls, life grows. The balance must be maintained. Ceremony keeps the world intact. Even the smallest offering, a pinch of corn, a whispered prayer, the gentle burning of copal incense, holds weight. Larger ceremonies, guided by priests and rulers, shape the fate of entire cities. These rituals are not spectacles. They are negotiations with the unseen. The sacred role of blood. Blood carries life and lineage. To the Maya, it is the most potent offering, a thread connecting humans to gods. Rulers, nobles, and priests would draw small, deliberate amounts of their own blood, often from the ear, the tongue, or the leg, letting it fall onto bark paper. The paper was burned. The smoke carried the offering upward. In return, visions came. Not hallucinations as we understand them, but doorways, moments when ancestors stepped close, when gods whispered guidance. The act was sacred, controlled, and deeply meaningful. The giver did not suffer. They participated. Caves, cenotes, and sacred earth. Beneath the surface of the Maya world lies another realm, the watery, shadowed world below. The Maya see caves as entrances to the underworld, not a place of punishment but transformation. Cenotes, natural sinkholes filled with clear blue water, are believed to be sacred wells, places where offerings reach the gods who dwell below. In these spaces, the air is cool. Echoes linger long after sound stops. Light reflects in gentle patterns. Priests enter with reverence. Rulers follow. Offerings descend. Even today, these places feel alive. Priests and their quiet authority. Priests move like shadows through the city. They study calendars, interpret dreams, watch the moon's slow steps across the sky. Their power is not loud, but profound. They understand cycles, solar, lunar, agricultural, dynastic, and guide rulers based on celestial will. If the priest declares a day unlucky, the city waits. If he marks a day for ceremony, preparations begin. Knowledge itself is sacred, and they carry its weight. The Maya calendar, the heartbeat of the universe. The Maya read time the way others read stone. To them, time is not a straight line, but a braid of cycles layered atop one another. The Tsoken, a 260-day sacred cycle. A calendar of prophecy, naming each day with a unique combination of symbols. The Hab, a 365-day solar cycle. A reflection of seasons, planting, and harvest. Together, they form the calendar round, a 52-year pattern where no combination repeats. But beyond these lies the long count, a system that tracks vast stretches of time, thousands of years long, a cosmic ledger marking eras, creations, and endings. To the Maya, time is alive. It arrives with personality. It carries responsibilities. It moves through cycles of birth, growth, rest, and renewal. The calendar is not a schedule. It is the story of existence. Astronomy without telescopes. Priests stand upon temple tops to watch the sky. Their eyes are sharp, trained over years. Their memories carry decades of observation. They know when Venus rises brightest, when solar paths shift, when the moon signals planting. Their knowledge is so precise that modern astronomy still marvels at it. But to the Maya, this is not science alone. It is communion with order, a way of hearing the voice of the universe. Festival nights. When the calendar marks a day of significance, cities glow softly. Torches flicker against stone. Drums begin their slow pulse. People gather in plazas, forming circles that expand outward like ripples in water. Masks appear, jaguar, serpent, bird, invoking forces beyond the human form. Children sit quietly, watching colors move. Elders whisper memories. Ritual becomes storytelling. Story becomes memory. Memory becomes identity. The city breathes in unison, the weight of sacred authority. Rulers feel the pressure of maintaining balance. A failed ritual, an unexpected drought, a celestial sign misread. Any of these could shift the fate of thousands. The Ajah stands not above the people, but at the center of them. His body, his blood, his lineage, these are the city's lifelines. He carries the weight of cosmic equilibrium, and the people carry him. Soft transition forward. Night settles over the great temples. Incense curls upward like soft fingers. The moon glides slowly, tracing the edges of stone. Ritual is complete. The world is balanced once more. But even as ceremonies fade, another layer of Maya life pulses quietly below. Trade routes crossing forests, artisans crafting jade, scribes bending over glyphs, dynasties rising and falling in slow cycles. That world waits just beyond the next breath. Part 5. The mathematics of the sky and the art of time. The Maya mind and the gentle geometry of thought. To the Maya, knowledge is not a possession. It is a companion. Something to be approached respectfully, understood slowly, carried carefully. Their mathematics, astronomy, and timekeeping do not grow out of conquest or empire. They grow out of watching the curve of the sun, the quiet rhythm of seasons, the patient turning of celestial cycles. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. Everything observed with devotion. The invention of zero. Inside Maya thought lies a quiet miracle, a symbol for nothing, a shell shape, softly curved, simple but profound. Long before many other civilizations used zero, the Maya understood that the absence of quantity could itself be counted, could be held, could be part of a system. Zero allowed them to build enormous spans of time, to calculate cycles thousands of years long, to speak about beginnings and endings vast enough to feel like myth. In their hands, mathematics becomes a story, each number a character, each place value a chapter. Vigesimal counting, base 20. Most of the world counts in tens. The Maya count in 20s, a quiet echo of hands and feet. Their system is elegant. Dots for ones, bars for fives, the shell for zero. Stacked vertically, numbers rise like steps of a pyramid. Simple shapes, endless possibilities. This is how they measure time, how they record history, how they understand the cosmos. Math, for the Maya, is a ladder that touches the sky as scripture. Priests climb temple tops before dawn. The air is cool. The city below still half asleep. They watch the horizon, not with urgency but reverence. Venus brightens. The sun begins to spill gold over stone. The moon traces its slow arc through the year. Each celestial body has a personality, a story, a cycle. The Maya do not simply observe the sky. They converse with it. Venus, the brilliant wanderer. Venus is more than a planet to the Maya. It is a force, a herald, a sign-bearer. Its rising and setting carry meaning woven into warfare, harvests, rituals, and royal decisions. Priests track Venus with such precision that modern astronomy confirms their accuracy to the day. But for the Maya, this is not scientific triumph. It is fidelity to cosmic order, a promise kept between sky and earth, solar cycles and stone alignment. Temples are not built for grandeur alone. They are instruments, architectural calendars. At equinox, light slides perfectly along stairways. At solstice, shadows fall into deliberate shapes. Whole buildings function as giant observatories. When sunlight strikes a temple in a certain way, it is not an accident. It is a sign, an arrival, a reminder, a marker of the world's rhythm. The Maya use stone as others use ink, writing not on tablets, but with architecture. The long count, time beyond time. The long count does not track seasons. It tracks eras. Vast cycles measured in backtons, each spanning centuries. A backton turns slowly, like a giant grinding stone. 20 backtons complete a major world age. The Maya carve these cycles into monuments, anchoring moments in deep cosmic history. A date is not simply when. It is where in the universe is unfolding. Time is not passing. It is breathing, prophecy and patience. The Maya are not obsessed with predicting the end of the world. They are concerned with cycles, beginnings within endings, endings within beginnings. Just as corn is planted, grows, dies, and returns, so too do ages. Their worldview is neither fatalistic nor fearful. It is cyclical, comforting, reassuring. Everything arrives. Everything returns. Time is a wheel, not a road. Calendars as companions. People live within multiple calendars at once. A child's birthday carries omen and personality based on the sacred cycle. A farmer's planting follows the solar year. A priest's rituals follow combinations of both. Each day has meaning. Not all days are equal. Not all tasks belong on any day. Time is textured, layered, alive. The calendar is less a tool and more a relationship. Astronomers without walls. Maya astronomers do not retreat into silence. They share their knowledge carefully. Rulers rely on them. Priests consult them. Cities respect them. Their calculations guide everything from warfare to trade. But beneath the importance lies a deeper truth. To know the sky is to understand one's place. Small but significant. Finite but connected. The heavens are not distant. They are familiar neighbors. Evening in a scholar's life. As dusk settles, astronomers step down from temple platforms. Their eyes still hold starlight. Their minds still hum with cycles. Children run between houses. Artisans finish the day's work. Fires spark into being one by one. Time continues its quiet turning. And the Maya, with their calendars and calculations, keep pace with the heartbeat of the cosmos. Soft transition forward. Beyond astronomy and mathematics lies another world. Trade routes threading the forests, artisans shaping jade, scribes carving history into stone, alliances forming and shattering like waves. The Maya are scholars, yes, but they are also builders of networks, artists of extraordinary skill, and keepers of stories carried across centuries. That world waits just beyond the next candle's flicker. Part 6. The Ritual Calendar, Sacred Time, and the Whisper of the Gods. Night gathers over the Maya lowlands again. In the cool hush, the world seems to slow its heartbeat, as if the very forest is listening. We return now to one of the deepest rivers of Maya life, time. But for the Maya, time wasn't simply ticking seconds. It was a living companion, a cosmic serpent looping endlessly around existence. Let's step inside it. The calendar that breathed. The Maya held two great calendars in their hands. The first was the Tzolk'in, a 260-day spiritual cycle. Every day carried a personality, a fate, and a subtle spiritual flavor. Some days were thought to be infused with creative energy. Others carried warnings. Each combination of number and day sign painted a unique moment in time. The way people spoke about these days, it was almost as if time itself whispered advice. To wake up on Forajah was to wake under a sunblessed sign, filled with light and divine harmony. To be born on Nainik meant carrying the airy, intuitive qualities of the wind. The second was the Hab, the solar calendar, a familiar 365-day sweep tied to the seasons, the harvests, and the rhythm of planting and reaping. Together, they formed the calendar round, a grand cycle of 52 years. When it completed, it was as though a veil lifted and the world took a new breath. Imagine living in a society where time itself is a sacred character, a guardian and guide, shaping your choices. In the quiet of a Maya night, after the hearth fire dimmed, families sometimes spoke softly about these days, the way your grandparents might speak about dreams or omens. There was comfort in it, like placing your hand on the pulse of the universe. The priests who walked through time. Certain members of the community carried the responsibility of interpreting these sacred cycles. The Ajkn, daykeepers, were the keepers of cosmic order. Picture them sitting cross-legged beside a small flame, tracing symbols across bark paper books. Their voices rose in slow incantations, calling upon ancestors and gods to guide the living. Their work wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, reflective, deeply intentional. If someone planned to plant maize, choose a marriage date, or even begin a trading journey, they might consult these timekeepers. Not out of fear, but in the same way you might speak with someone wise before making a meaningful decision. There was something soothing about knowing your life danced in harmony with the heavens. Sacred time and everyday life. As we drift further into this world, imagine the soft movements of daily life blending with rituals shaped by the calendar. A potter shaping clay might pause and whisper a brief prayer on a day tied to creativity. Farmers might offer the first kernels of maize on a day aligned with the cycles of growth. A child's birthday wasn't just a celebration but a reading of destiny, as if each newborn carried a cosmic script woven into their arrival. This sense of cosmic timing wrapped the Maya world in a steady rhythm, like the gentle pulse of ocean tides. The voices of the gods. To the Maya, the gods weren't distant. They were woven into the rain, the sun, the wind, the mountains. They were present in the maize that fed the people, in the caves that led into the heart of the earth, in the stars that slowly turned above. At night, fires flickered in courtyards and plazas, casting golden halos on pyramids that rose like stone guardians into the darkness. This was a world where humans and gods shared space, where the mundane and the divine mingled like smoke. The soundscape of these nights was simple: soft chirping insects, the occasional distant call of a bird, and the murmur of families settling into sleep. And in that quiet, people felt connected to something older, larger, and tenderly mysterious. The atmosphere of a Maya night. Imagine drifting slowly over a starlit Maya city, torches glowing like floating constellations, a soft, warm haze rising from cooking fires, the silhouettes of temples cutting gentle shapes against the velvet sky, the forest breathing around everything. No rush, no sharp edges, only the cadence of ancient time, as though gently rocking on those currents of cosmic cycles. The past becomes a cradle, time becomes a friend. Its quiet approach, like dawn approaching in reverse. Part 7. Inside the Maya home, hearth, family, and the quiet shape of daily life. The night gently lifts, giving way to a pale blue dawn. A thin mist curls through the trees. Birds begin their murmured greetings high above the thatched roofs of a Maya village. As the first rays of sunlight warm the earth, we step quietly into the heart of everyday life. Not the grand temples, not the royal courts, but the simple, steady rhythm of a Maya home. The house that held the day. A typical Maya dwelling was humble, warm, and full of spirit. Picture walls woven from wooden poles coated in smooth mud. The roof was a thick layer of palm fronds, layered so carefully that rain slipped off like water from a duck's feathers. Inside, the air was cool and faintly sweet from the scent of dry palm. There were no cluttered shelves or crowded furniture. Instead, the room carried an intentional simplicity. A quiet hearth in the center, stones arranged in a small triangle. A few woven mats, clay vessels, baskets filled with maize kernels, like tiny golden promises of meals to come. Life here wasn't shaped by possessions, but by relationships, ritual, and rhythm. The family that lived within. At dawn, the household stirred with gentle purpose. A woman knelt at the grinding stone, working maize against volcanic rock. The low, steady sound, S-H-H-K-R-R, S-H-H-K-R-R, was the heartbeat of the morning. Fresh tortillas would soon puff over the fire. A man stepped outside, stretching his arms toward the rising sun, a small gesture of gratitude before beginning the day's work, tending fields, crafting tools, or preparing for trade routes that threaded through forests like unseen trails of opportunity. Children wandered sleepily from their sleeping mats, some rubbing their eyes, others already chasing each other with quiet laughter. They learned early by watching, imitating, absorbing the flow of daily tasks. In a world without clocks, families followed the sun, not schedules. Time here wasn't a taskmaster. It was a companion. Food, flavor, and the warm glow of the hearth. Meals brought the family together in soft gatherings. Fresh maize tortillas still warm. Stews made from beans, squash, tomatoes, and herbs. Occasional fish or turkey, depending on the region. Chocolate, bitter, rich, and whisked to a frothy delight, appeared during special moments, a drink worthy of ceremonies and celebrations. Cooking wasn't rushed. It unfolded slowly, like a long exhale. Every ingredient had a season, a story, a purpose. The hearth wasn't just for food. It was the spiritual center of the home, the place where family, ancestors, and daily life intertwined. Craft, skill, and the artistry of ordinary days. Outside the royal courts, Maya people still practiced incredible artistry. A farmer could also be a skilled weaver. A fisherman might carve simple but beautiful jade ornaments. Women created textiles with patterns echoing stories, gods, and cosmic cycles. Each color carried meaning. Each thread held intention. Clay pots were shaped with careful hands, smoothed, decorated, and fired until they rang with a tone almost like a bell when tapped. Sound and ritual, form and function, nothing was accidental. Even the most ordinary object carried something sacred. Evening returning like an old friend. As the day softened into dusk, families returned home. Children played in the fading light, their voices drifting like floating lanterns. Adults share news, laughter, or quiet stories of ancestors carried from long ago. Stars appeared one by one, spreading across the sky in great cosmic patterns the Maya understood with astonishing precision. And slowly, gently, the village settled again. A mother might tuck a sleeping child under a woven cloth. A father might bank the fire for the night. A soft chorus of insects rose like a cradle song. The house, the heart, the family, all folded into rest. Part 8. Maize, the fields, and the breath of the living earth. The day opens gently over the Maya lowlands, brushing gold over the tops of towering ceiba trees. Mist clings low to the ground, drifting like a memory not yet ready to lift. Walk with me toward the far edges of the village, where the sounds soften and the horizon widens into a quiet green expanse. Here, we enter the lifeblood of Maya civilization. The fields, the gardens, the world of maize. The plant that was more than food. To the Maya, maize wasn't just a crop. It was origin, identity, a sacred companion. In their creation stories, humans weren't shaped from clay or breath, but from yellow and white corn dough kneaded by divine hands. Imagine believing, truly, deeply, that your flesh, your thoughts, your very heartbeat come from a plant that grows beneath the sun. There's something beautifully grounding about that idea. It ties you to the earth with a kind of quiet reverence. And every Maya meal, every harvest, every handful of kernels offered to the gods whispered the same truth. We are part of the land, and the land is part of us. Milpa, the living garden. Step softly into a milpa, the traditional Maya field. It isn't a strict grid or a monoculture. It feels alive, diverse, balanced. Here, maize rises confidently toward the sky. At its feet, beans win their way upward, using the strong stalks for support. Squash spreads out low and wide, shading the soil, keeping it cool and moist. Together, they form a trio of harmony, each plant helping the others thrive. Forest leaves return nutrients to the earth. Small patches are opened, used for a few years, then allowed to rest and renew. The Maya didn't dominate the land. They collaborated with it. This gentle, cyclical approach kept the soil rich and the ecosystem humming with life. A day in the fields. At dawn, men and sometimes entire families began their walk to the milpa. Not hurried, not burdened, just steady, like a ritual in motion. They carried tools shaped from wood and stone, lightweight but effective. The air in the morning fields had its own smell, a blend of wet earth, crushed leaves, and the first warmth of sunlight. Work here wasn't frantic. It followed the pace of nature, slow and sure. With each seed placed in the soil, there was a small moment of intention. A low, almost whispered acknowledgement. May this grow well. May it feed my family. May it honor the gods. Every gesture held meaning, even when performed in silence. Rain, seasons, and the patience of the earth. The Maya paid close attention to the cycles of rain and drought. They read the sky like a living codex. Cloud shapes, winds, stars, and the shifting colors along the horizon became silent teachers. In regions without reliable rivers, they built reservoirs and cisterns, capturing the precious breath of storms. Rain was never taken for granted. When it arrived, it felt like a blessing descending directly from Chak, the rain deity. When it didn't, the fields grew still, and prayers grew longer. Yet through drought and plenty, the people learned patience. Nature wasn't hurried. Life unfolded at the pace of seasons. Harvest, a quiet celebration. When the maize turned golden and the husks crisp under the sun, a sense of anticipation drifted through the community. Families worked together to gather the ears, stacking them carefully in storage huts raised above the ground. Laughter rose. Stories moved between generations like drifting sparks. And on certain days, small offerings were made, kernels, tortillas, or even the first bowl of fresh maize stew, placed before idols or set beside the hearth as a token of gratitude. Not out of fear, out of respect. The earth had shared its gifts, and the people answered with humility. It's quite a soothing atmosphere, gliding slowly across a milpa at dusk. Fireflies blinking like soft punctuation across the fields. Maize stalks swaying gently, their leaves whispering to one another. The distant hum of frogs and cicadas rising like an ancient chant. A warm breeze carrying the scent of soil long kissed by the sun. Everything moves with the rhythm of breath, long, slow, unhurried. As if roots are gently growing from their feet into the earth, connecting from something timeless, steady, and kind. Part 9. The Maya City, Plazas, Markets, and the Pulse of Community Life. Imagine the soft sweep of morning light passing over broad stone plazas. Before the heat rises, Maya cities breathe in a quiet stillness. A temple casts a long, cool shadow. Smoke curls up from small home fires. A few early vendors set out baskets, arranging them with care and unspoken pride. The city is just beginning to stir. Let's walk through it slowly, like moving across a scene carved from sunlight and memory. Cities shaped by cosmos and community. Maya cities weren't chaotic clusters of houses. They were designed with cosmic intention. Central plazas formed the heart, open, airy spaces large enough for ceremonies, gatherings, and moments when the entire community became an audience for the gods. Temples rose from these squares, terraced and angular, their steps steep as if climbing them brought you closer to the heavens. Observatories and palace complexes framed the edges, their walls decorated with carved stories of kings and ancestors. Paths connected it all, winding outward into neighborhoods, gardens, ball courts, and artisan quarters. Nothing felt random. Every structure aligned with memory and meaning. These cities didn't just exist. They expressed something, a worldview, a rhythm, a cosmic architecture. The market, where life gathers. Now, the city awakens. Vendors begin pouring in from nearby villages. Men carrying baskets on ropes across their shoulders. Women with clay pots balanced effortlessly on their heads. Children trailing behind with extra bundles or woven mats. The market feels like a rising tide, steady, colorful, full of quiet motion. There's no shouting here. Bartering is calm, personal, built on relationships and subtle negotiation. On woven blankets and wooden tables you'd see pyramids of fresh cacao beans, jade beads glimmering like drops of river water, vibrant textiles woven with ancient patterns, obsidian blades shining with midnight sharpness, clay figurines shaped from stories, chilies, herbs, roots, and warm tortillas wrapped in cloth. It's a marketplace orchestrated with gentle energy, not chaos. Trade carries both necessity and beauty. A person might buy their daily food, but also a carving that holds a blessing or a woven sash meant for a future ceremony. Artisans, the hands that shape beauty. In one quiet corner of the market, watch an artisan at work. A potter rotates a vessel with steady precision, her hands smoothing clay while her daughter mixes pigments nearby. A jade carver chips carefully at a small green stone, revealing a figurine hidden inside. Each tap of his tool is soft, rhythmic, almost meditative. Feather workers arrange brilliant quetzal feathers into headdresses that shimmer like living emeralds when touched by sunlight. Weavers create patterns that mirror the stars, the gods, and the stories whispered from one generation to the next. Every line of thread is a sentence in a fabric-born poem. These artisans don't rush. Their work is a conversation between material and intention. Social layers, gently interwoven. Maya society had layers, priests, nobles, artisans, traders, farmers, but within the marketplace, everyone mixed. A noblewoman might select fine textiles for a ceremony. A farmer might trade maize for obsidian tools. A child from a humble family might receive a tiny clay toy shaped like an animal, freshly made and warm from the sun. Each interaction, however quiet, wove the fabric of community tighter. Even strangers from distant cities found welcome here, their dialects new but their presence familiar. Trade routes stretched across mountains and forests, linking cities in a vast web of shared culture. The marketplace was where the world felt big and small at once. The slow drift into afternoon. As the sun climbs higher, the colors warm and shadows shrink. The market relaxes into a slower rhythm. Vendors tuck freshly sold goods into baskets. Children doze beside their parents. The hum of conversation settles into a soft murmur. A pair of musicians in the distance begin to play, slow, low notes from wooden flutes and drums. Their music drifts like a breeze through the stone corridors. Birds circle over the plaza's edge. The heat thickens, but the mood remains unhurried. Everything here moves in a gentle loop, like the slow turning of the sacred calendar. Warm morning light moving through a stone plaza. Colorful market blankets. Artisans working quietly, hands steady and confident. A drifting flute in the background, area's breath. The slow rise of smoke from cooking fires at the plaza's edge. Gentle fading into late afternoon stillness. The effect is peaceful and grounding, like walking through a living museum where every detail invites calm curiosity. A place where the world moves softly enough to lull the listener closer to rest. Part 11. Rituals, Spirit, and the Heartbeat of the Sacred Maya World. Night folds itself around the city once more. Torches flicker along temple steps, casting warm halos against stone carved with faces of gods and ancestral memory. The air feels different here. Still, but expectant. Calm, yet filled with a soft hum that vibrates through the ground like a distant drum. We're entering the world of Maya ritual, not with spectacle or fear, but with reverence, understanding, and a tone shaped for rest. Let this chapter flow like the slow lighting of a ceremonial fire. A world filled with presence. To the Maya, the universe wasn't divided between sacred and ordinary. The divine was everywhere. In flowing water, in the hush of forests, in the rising sun, in the steady rhythm of human breath. Even a small clay figure or a simple stone held a spirit if treated with respect. Their rituals weren't performed to escape the world. They were performed to harmonize with it, to align human life with the heartbeat of the cosmos. The role of the priest, calm guides of the sacred. Priests were not harsh authority figures in Maya society. They were caretakers of balance, interpreters of time, mediators between people and the unseen. Visualize a priest at dawn. Robes woven in deep earth tones. A slow, steady movement of hands preparing incense. A quiet voice chanting rhythms older than the city itself. Their work involved keeping the calendars aligned, guiding rituals, interpreting dreams and omens, tending sacred fires, honoring ancestors, performing ceremonies for health, harvests, and cosmic harmony. Every gesture was gentle and intentional, like a slow breath offered to the universe. Ritual spaces where earth and sky met. Ceremonies took place in different layers of the world. The temple tops, rising into the sky, were for rituals that called upon the heavens, cycles of Venus, solstices, royal ceremonies. The plazas below held festivals and dances, large gatherings filled with music, color, and community. But the quietest rituals, the ones for hearth, health, and family, took place at home. A small clay idol, a bowl of incense, a whispered prayer near the fire. The sacred didn't require grandness. It only required sincerity. Incense, firelight, and the breath of copal. One of the most soothing elements of Maya ritual is the presence of copal incense, a resin gathered from trees. When burned, it releases a scent both sweet and earthy, like sunlight warmed on stone. Its smoke rises in slow, swirling currents, drifting upward like a message written in air. Priests use copal to call attention, not from the gods, but from the human spirit, a reminder to be present, to breathe, to honor the moment. The soft crackle of a brazier, the faint hiss of burning resin, a low hum of chanting, barely above a whisper. Soft, grounded, calming, music and movement, a gentle sacred pulse. Ritual music wasn't loud or chaotic. It moved with gravity and grace. Flutes made from bone or cane released long, airy notes that drifted across temples like distant moonlight. Drums offered slow, steady rhythms, not pounding, but pulsing, like a relaxed heartbeat echoing across stone plazas. Dancers wore garments decorated with feathers and shells that chimed softly with each movement. Their steps mirrored the cycles of nature, the arc of the sun, the spiral of time, the swing of seasons. Watching a Maya ceremony felt like watching a story unfold without words. A quiet theater of devotion. Offerings, simple gestures of respect. Offerings were part of daily life, not grand events. People gave what they had. A handful of maize, a cup of cacao, a woven cloth, a small carving, burning incense, the first drink of water drawn in the morning. These gestures weren't about sacrifice. They were about gratitude. A moment to say, we see the world. We honor it. We are grateful for its gifts. There is something deeply calming about this kind of ritual. Humility without fear, reverence without urgency. The ancestors, ever present and kind. Maya people maintained a vivid relationship with ancestors, not with dread, not with superstition, but with warmth. Ancestors were thought of as guides who lingered close, offering wisdom and protection through dreams, through rituals, and through the quiet intuition of daily life. At times, families might place small offerings on simple altars, or speak softly to those who came before. A gentle continuity, a bridge to the past that also felt like support in the present. This chapter lends itself beautifully to slow transition. Shimmering incense smoke curling upward, torches flickering against carved stone, soft silhouettes of dancers in slow ritual motion, a wide view of a temple top under a star-filled sky, a priest lighting a small fire with steady hands, warm golden hues gliding across ancient symbols. Every frame should feel quiet, spacious, and reverent, like moving through a temple in a dream. A place where the sacred feels gentle enough to fall asleep beside. Part 12, the Maya ballgame, rhythm, play, and sacred sport. The sun hangs low, softening its light across the plazas and ball courts. Dust drifts lazily in the gentle breeze. Children's laughter echoes faintly, mixing with the occasional hum of cicadas. Here, in the heart of the city, movement becomes ritual. Play becomes story. The Maya ballgame rises not as spectacle, but as a calm dance between earth, body, and spirit. The ball court, a temple of play. The ball court is a long, narrow stone structure, flanked by sloped walls. Its shape mirrors the passage of life and the cosmos, entrances, exits, challenges, and arcs. Walking across the court, you can feel its quiet significance. This wasn't just a game. It was a space where human skill touched the divine, where the rhythm of bodies echoed the rhythm of the universe. The game, skill, strategy, and flow. Players wore leather padding at hips and knees. Their goal was to move a heavy rubber ball, not with hands, but with hips, elbows, and knees. The ball bounced and rolled with a deep thud against stone. Every movement was measured, deliberate. Every pass, a silent conversation. The game could last for hours. Not hurried, not frantic. The soundscape was composed of the soft thump of the ball, the occasional call of teammates, and the quiet murmur of spectators. It was a meditation in motion, ritual dimensions of play. The ball game also carried spiritual significance. It symbolized the eternal struggle between day and night, life and death, the forces of the cosmos. Kings and nobles might watch quietly from stone benches. Priests could interpret the patterns of play as messages from the gods. Sometimes, games were tied to important ceremonies, harvests, celestial events, or political gatherings. Yet even in these larger contexts, the energy remained calm, intentional, and full of purpose rather than chaos. Children at play. Outside the formal ball court, children mimic the motions in dirt fields. Small, soft balls are tossed or rolled. Laughter rises in rhythmic waves, blending with the ambient whispers of trees, wind, and distant drums. Through play, young Maya learned coordination, strategy, and the subtle lessons of community, patience, respect, and awareness. The city moves slowly, intentionally, teaching the next generation through motion and story. Community energy, quiet but alive. The ball game brings people together. Spectators gather along court edges. Traders pause in their routines. Artisans glance up from weaving or carving. Even casual observation carries a soft communal pulse, an unspoken connection that unites body, spirit, and society. Everything here is intentional and rhythmic, not loud or hurried. The city moves with a heartbeat, measured and serene. A wide shot of a sunlit ball court with long, soft shadows. Slow, deliberate movements of players moving the ball. Dust rising gently with each step. Faint ambient sounds, ball thumping, birds, wind. Soft, flowing music in the background, echoing the natural rhythm of motion. The goal is flow. Part 13, Maya art, temples, and the quiet poetry of stone. The sun begins its gentle descent. Shadows stretch across plazas and stairways, softening the edges of carved stone. We walk slowly through a temple complex, where every surface, every corner, every relief tells a story. Not hurried, not loud, only whispered stories, unfolding in the patient glow of twilight. Temples, stone as language. Maya temples rise like frozen music, stacked terraces climbing skyward. Look closely at the carvings. Serpents curling along staircases. Jaguars poised mid-leap. Abstract patterns flowing like rivers. Kings and queens depicted with calm dignity. Stone here is not just structural. It is text, narrative, and ritual intertwined. Every line, curve, and symbol carries intention, a meditation in form. To trace your eyes along these carvings is to read centuries of devotion, careful thought, and cosmic awareness. Murals, stories in color. Inside temple walls, murals glow softly in the fading light. Reds that feel warm like embers. Deep blues echoing the sky. Earth tones that remind you of soil and stone. Scenes depict ceremonies, mythic stories, and daily life. Figures move in slow, deliberate gestures, echoing the rhythms of the universe. Even as we observe from the present, there's a timeless stillness, a calm, meditative connection between viewer and artist. Ceremonial objects, small wonders. Maya artistry isn't limited to massive stones or murals. Jade beads carved into delicate shapes. Obsidian knives polished to perfection. Ceramic vessels painted with subtle, flowing glyphs. Feathered headdresses that shimmer with the green of living quetzal. Each object is a story, a prayer, and a work of quiet intention. Even the smallest artifact carries weight, not in mass, but in meaning. Art as meditation. Notice how calm and deliberate the process of creation is. A carver taps gently at jade. A painter brushes slow lines onto plaster. A weaver pulls threads methodically across a loom. This is not frantic labor. It is meditation in motion. Every movement repeats a rhythm older than memory. Every creation connects human life to the cosmos. Walking through the temple at dusk. Imagine gliding slowly past terraces and staircases as the sun drops behind distant hills. Shadows elongate across intricately carved steps. Smoke from small ceremonial fires rises in slow spirals. The hum of distant flute music drifts across the plaza. Golden light brushes the curves of stone reliefs. Time feels suspended. Every step, every glance is soft, intentional, and absorbing. The world is vast, but it moves with a gentle rhythm you can follow. Slow panning across temple facades and stairways. Close-ups of carved glyphs and painted murals. Ambient sounds, distant wind, faint birds, soft ceremonial music. Golden hour lighting, highlighting textures of stone and paint. Gentle camera movement, almost floating, to evoke meditation. It feels like a silent guest in an ancient, sacred space, tranquil, grounded, and mesmerized by subtle beauty. Part 14. Stars, Observatories, and the Poetry of the Maya Sky. Night drapes itself over the city once more. The air grows cool. Shadows soften. Fires and homes flicker and dim. Above, the sky opens wide, revealing a tapestry of stars, planets, and the faint band of the Milky Way stretching across the heavens. The Maya did not see the night sky as distant or untouchable. It was intimate, alive, and filled with stories waiting to be read. Observatories, touching the cosmos. Some temples were built not only to honor the gods but to observe the stars. Atop terraced pyramids, priests and astronomers would rise before dawn, their eyes tracing the slow arcs of Venus, the moon, and the constellations. Fingers marking positions against carved stone guides. Charts and codices open beside them, recording cycles with meticulous care. These observatories were more than tools. They were bridges between human life and cosmic order. Venus, the morning and evening star. Venus was a special companion in the Maya sky. Its appearances and disappearances were noted with precision, influencing planting, ceremonies, and decisions. Imagine a calm morning. Venus gleams softly in the eastern sky. Priests note the date quietly in codices. Villagers sense a subtle shift, a gentle cosmic cue guiding their day. For the Maya, the sky was a partner in living, not a separate universe. The moon and night cycles. The moon held its own quiet authority. Rising, waxing, and waning, it guided ceremonies, marked time, and whispered omens. Small fires in homes mirrored its glow. Children watched the crescent rising over rooftops. Farmers remembered the lunar cycle when tending crops. Even in the stillness of night, the cosmos shaped daily life with calm, rhythmic influence. Stars as stories. Every cluster, every flicker of light, had meaning. Orion, seen as a hunter or jaguar depending on the region. Pleiades, associated with seasonal cycles and planting rituals. Milky Way, flowing like a river in the sky, connecting gods, humans, and ancestors. These weren't distant symbols. They were companions. Watching the stars was a meditation, a conversation across time and space. The night sky as lullaby. Imagine standing quietly atop a temple platform. The wind brushing against your skin. The faint hum of the forest below. Stars blinking softly like cosmic lanterns. Venus rising, the Milky Way stretching across the dark velvet sky. Even the act of observing becomes a gentle ritual. Breath slows. Mind quiets. Heart aligns with the rhythm of the universe. This is the world the Maya inhabited, intimate, vast, and entirely attuned to cosmic harmony. A starlit sky over stone pyramids. Soft, ambient wind and distant forest sounds. Faint ethereal flutes or chimes to underscore cosmic rhythm. Gentle zooms on Venus and the Milky Way. Silhouettes of priests observing the sky, motion calm and deliberate. Floating above the city, moving slowly with the stars, carrying the peaceful heartbeat of the cosmos into their own consciousness. Part 15, Myths, Creation Stories, and the gentle flow of Maya storytelling. Night deepens, stretching soft shadows across the city. Fires glow faintly, flickering against carved stone. In the quiet of homes and temples, stories are told. Not loud tales meant to thrill or alarm, but soft, deliberate narratives, myths that carry meaning, rhythm, and cosmic harmony. These are the stories that shape the Maya understanding of the world. The Popol Vuh, the Maya creation story. One of the most important tales is found in the Popol Vuh, a sacred book recording the origins of the world and its people. It begins in darkness, when only sky and sea existed. Slowly, the gods brought forth light, animals, and the first humans, though these first humans were made of mud and then wood, not quite perfect. Finally, humans were formed from maize, the sacred plant that nourishes both body and spirit. Imagine this story told by a soft voice beside a hearth. The crackle of fire punctuates each scene. Characters move in calm, deliberate gestures. Gods are present but gentle, powerful, yes, but not chaotic. It's a story that teaches patience, reverence, and connection. The hero twins, Hunahpu and Zbalanque. Another story follows the hero twins, clever and calm, moving through challenges in the underworld. They do not fight recklessly. They solve puzzles. They rely on wisdom, careful planning, and subtle courage. Their journey isn't a frantic race. It's a measured, rhythmic adventure, full of lessons about life, death, balance, and respect. For listeners, this story can feel like a lullaby of strategy, intuition, and patience. Animals, nature, and the gods in stories. Maya myths often weave humans, animals, and gods together seamlessly. The jaguar prowls not as a threat but as a sacred presence. The serpent winds through earth and sky, connecting past, present, and future. Birds carry messages between worlds. Every story reflects a rhythm of nature, time, and human life. Telling the story softly allows listeners to absorb their meaning without rush, letting imagination drift freely. The sound of storytelling. Imagine a storyteller, seated beside a flickering hearth. Children leaning forward, eyes heavy with drowsiness. Adults listening quietly, nodding to familiar beats. Voice low, measured, each word deliberate. The cadence itself becomes hypnotic, weaving a gentle lull around the listener. Even when the story speaks of trials or the underworld, the tone remains calm and meditative. The drama is in reflection, not fear. Imaginative tales that are soft, warm, and poetic. Carved story panels on temples. Shadows flickering in candlelight. Gentle mythic animals moving across murals. Soft ambient music, low flutes, distant chimes. Firelight dancing across storytelling spaces. Good night.